with the Warriors in search of more scoring help. ESPN's Tim Legler says he's not sure Jordan Poole can provide it.
I'm just not convinced now after 3 games we're going to get that at any point, because Ime Udoka knows it too. And I think they're getting into him a little bit, and it's rattled him. He's a young player. Going through this for the first time, it might be a little bit much to ask.
Tim Legler, our Game 4 coverage starts at 8 Eastern tomorrow night on ESPN Radio and ABC TV.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Taylor Sharp. Muso. And Mr. Toby Tom Play. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Third time's a charm. We'll see. Josh Smith in about 15 minutes. He's got an off day with the Rangers today, so we should have him with us here in about 15 minutes. Talk about his making his big league debut last week for the Texas Rangers. Looking forward to that conversation. Billy Embody 1 hour from right now. Talk some Cruton as Tigers had some elite camps last week. And Eric Reiselman will be with us next hour as well. Talk about what his one and likely only season in Baton Rouge. No doubt he enjoyed his time as an LSU Tiger, but very likely the draft will call his name in about a month's time, and he'll be a one and done in Baton Rouge. We'll talk about it with Reiselman in a little more than an hour from right now. Glad to have you aboard with us here. Saints are back on the practice field today. The Saints had OTAs, and after which Dennis Allen, head coach Dennis Allen, something we're going to have to keep getting used to saying. I guess it rolls off the tongue a little bit, but Dennis Allen met with the media afterwards. One of the things that he did make clear is that he does expect that the entire roster, even though, look, OTAs are not mandatory. They're organized team activities, but they are voluntary. So that's why, look, last year the Saints didn't do them. Like, during COVID, they didn't have them, and last year they didn't do them. Sean Payton just said, look, work out on your own, no biggie, be ready to roll for our regular mandatory camp. So they're reinstituting the OTAs now. And it's a good opportunity to see some of these guys back out on the practice field. For some of them, it's time to see the first time on the practice field. Of course, Jarvis Landry is one of them who is out there working with the Saints receivers and the quarterbacks right now during OTAs, during this voluntary part. But I think it's important for a guy like Jarvis. The linemen probably don't get a ton of value really out of OTAs, except for the young guys maybe having the opportunity to be out there for the first time. And sort of learn how everything goes. But really, it's the timing for the skill guys that matter right now. So for Jarvis, that's really significant. We did talk a bit yesterday about Michael Thomas and how there was that video of him running full speed. This is the first time we've heard Dennis Allen talk about Michael Thomas. And here he was asked if he was satisfied with how the progress and the rehab's going right now for Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I'm good with Mike Thomas's. I would much rather him be 100% healthy and out here and all those kinds of things, but that's not where we're at right now. He is busting his tail to get himself ready to go, and I feel like he's making significant progress. I think mentally he's in a great place. Again, we're just going to let that process play out and get him healthy. And look, we have a long time to go before we play a game, and so. Again, I'll get back to that huge jump thing. We're looking for a huge jump. I just want to see him keep getting a little bit better every day.
That's a great way to put it. I mean, you don't have to have Michael Thomas ready to roll 100% until the second Sunday in September. It's the beginning of June. You got 3 months. You have 3 months to get him ready to roll. But he did talk about that sort of mental space, and if they're all satisfied with where he is.
It'd be unfair for me to really characterize because I don't know that I had that type of relationship with him prior to this. I had my own issues that I was concerning myself with the last few years. So I just like his mentality. I like the way he's attacking his rehab. I like the way that his mind is in terms of coming back and performing at a high level.
And one more about Thomas's future.
Do you expect him to participate next week in minicamp?
I think that'd be doubtful.
Okay, so remember, next week is a mandatory minicamp. Dennis Allen said they don't expect him to be participating. It's fine. Like, the last thing in the world you need is any type of setback for Michael Thomas right now. Let him be on his own recovery schedule. I think everybody understands that. Don't we all? Like, when Mike D was with us all those years, he'd always say, like, he'd always talk about veteran days off. The guys would go out there and then they tweak a hammy or turn an ankle, air quotes, right? It was just a veteran day off, man. Practice is for the unskilled, right? You don't need practice if you're Michael Thomas. You need to be healthy for September. So get there, get ready to go. I did mention, though, the young guys and why that's interesting, even though on the line, maybe you don't get a tremendous amount out of OTAs because you're just out there in helmets. But for the guys who are tasting this for the first time, yes, to put on the uniform for the first time, to go to a practice for the first time, to hear the cadence for the first time, to hear what the coach's expectations and what it's like, all of that, it's not that dissimilar from spring football for early enrollees in college, although you do have padded practices. But really, more than anything, it's to get you up to speed so when you show up for fall camp in August, brother, you are rolling. So that's obviously notable here because the Saints have a first-round draft pick in Trevor Penning, who is an offensive lineman, and these were Dennis Allen's thoughts so far on the number one picks through these OTAs.
Number one, he's out here working extremely hard. I see a really big man that's got some really good athletic qualities. I see a rookie, like I do with all these rookies. There's a lot of things that they have to improve on. From a mental standpoint, from a fundamental or technique standpoint. But look, he's out here every day grinding away, and I see a little bit of improvement every day.
So offensive side, also notably on defense, you're replacing both safeties, right? Marcus May, who was injured, had the Achilles injury that he's rehabbing right now. And obviously we've seen Tyrann Mathieu already out there at OTAs. But Dennis Allen did give an update, speaking of injuries, on Marcus May, updating his rehab from that torn Achilles.
He's progressing. Yeah. Every day he's getting just a little bit better. I guess that's with anybody that's going through rehab. I think all of our guys are continuing to get a little bit better. I don't know when that magical date is that everybody's 100% healthy, but they're all making progress.
It's worth reminding you that Marcus May had that Achilles injury on Thursday Night Football in early November. Okay, so you're going to be talking about from Marcus May's injury early November to the start of the season, you're talking 10 months. I'll remind you, Quan Alexander had the Achilles injury on Christmas Day, and he was ready to roll for the opener last year. So that's essentially 6 weeks, 5 weeks additional recovery time for May, as opposed to what Quan Alexander had a year ago, and Quan made it back. So I think it's reasonable to think that you're going to have Marcus May. And if we're being honest, y'all, the Saints probably don't give Marcus May that contract if they weren't completely satisfied with the medical and where he is coming off that injury. So that's mostly what these OTAs are for. It's timing for the quarterbacks and receivers. It's just getting guys out there with doing football-like activities, especially with the new coaching staff, new voice, new everything, new sound, all there. It's important for that. So when they hit training camp come late July, they're ready to roll. So all things look like they're on the up and up. Pretty status quo right now for the Saints in what has been an offseason of upheaval and change. Right now, things seem to be steadied for New Orleans. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break, come back. We'll talk with Josh Smith, who made his big league debut for the Texas Rangers. What a debut it was last week, but he is on the IL right now with a shoulder injury, so we'll get an update on that as well, but excited to talk to Josh Smith. Saints also today did announce their new Hall of Fame class with Fred McAfee and Devery Henderson going into the Saints Hall of Fame. We'll let you hear from both of those guys coming up a little bit later in the show as well. Glad you're here on a Thursday edition of AFR. Stick around.
AFR.
Buying or selling a home, there's only one name you need to know, and that's Darren James. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com, agent225.com. Tell you every day that when it comes to buying or selling, when it comes to real estate, the thing that sets Darren James apart, of course, is the experience, the level of service that Darren and his team provides. Despite the volume they do, they have a way of making you feel like you are their only customer. That's incredible. That's the Ritz-Carlton level of service. That's the Disney World level of service. That's what you get with Darren James. Darren can't make you remember his customer service. But what he can do is give you such unbelievable customer service that you can't help but be thrilled, remember it, and talk about it. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com. Think real estate? Think Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $5,000 off the new 2022 Wagoneer. We have Wagoneers in stock with $5,000 off. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt, and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
So I lucked up last week when I was in Destin. The local broadcast affiliate carried the Rays, the Tampa Bay Rays. That was the local team that they broadcast. and the Rays just so happened to be playing in Arlington against the Rangers, and that just so happened to coincide with Josh Smith making his big league debut. So while I was on vacation, I was probably the only person in Destin, not from Destin, who gave a damn to watch the Rangers and the Rays, but was to watch our friend Josh Smith, who joins us now. Hey, man, thanks for the time. How are you?
What's up, Matt? How y'all doing?
Doing great, man. Let's just go through it. Let's kind of chronologically. Give me the call-up story. When did you find out you were going to the show?
Yeah, so we were actually playing in Albuquerque. That's where our AAA game was at, and I got off the bus after the game, and my manager called me in, to the lobby of the hotel. So it was kind of awkward because a bunch of people were around, and he was like, "Hey, man," because we had an off day the next day. We were heading back to Texas. He was like, "Hey, what you doing on your off day tomorrow?" And I was like, probably just chilling, not doing much. And he was like, "Well, let's change those plans and let's go to Arlington." And I was like, "Wow!" And right there, just kind of hit me, And so immediately called my family. What was crazy too is 2 games before that, I was 0 for 9 with 5 strikeouts. And so I'm a little down, And but I called my family and then woke up the next morning, went to Arlington, and it's been crazy.
The picture that we use on the screen is actually a picture of you in an LSU uniform. We got to change that pronto now, man. Looks pretty good in that Ranger blue. So, all right, so you find out you're going. And by the way, for those that don't know, Josh and his wife Claire, you all kind of chronicle your baseball lives on social media, on Instagram, on TikTok. So you can go see a lot of that sort of firsthand reaction video. But so when you get the call up, take us from there. What was next for you?
Yeah, so we me and Claire do. I think we do a pretty good job of kind of documenting stuff if people want to go watch that. But so yeah, I get called up that day. Claire actually was not with me. She was coming back from a family vacation, and so she actually met me in Arlington. But I took the flight from Albuquerque to Dallas. Get there probably around noon or so, and then straight from there, hop into BP on the field, and then kind of get ready to go play with a bunch of new guys I've only met a couple times, and play in front of the Ranger crowd. So it was as soon as you get called, it's all right, you got a second to soak it in. You get 2 hours of sleep basically, and then you're playing a game next day.
Josh Smith is with us. So you play that game, and I'll be damned, bro. It went pretty well. 3 for 4 in your debut. Talk me through the first at bat. Batting in the 8 hole, but walk me through the first at bat when you got that first knock.
Yeah, so actually the guy who I was facing, we actually faced him the year we lost in the finals to Florida. We faced him in the College World Series. He went to Oregon State, so I kind of remembered him from that. But so I get up there, and for some reason, man, I get extremely nervous before games, but I don't know if I was just extremely locked in or what, but I never got nervous for the game. I just felt really calm, and I wasn't shaking or nervous at all. I don't know why. And I got up, and the guy kind of threw me a pitch I was looking for, a cutter inside, and I kind of got my hands to it and just put a good swing on it.
Heady play by the first base coach as well. There's a video of the hit with him kind of signaling for the ball. So where's the ball right now?
The ball is with me and Claire. So we're kind of traveling right now. We're in Chicago, so it kind of travels with us right now until we settle down for a place to put it.
Any idea where it's going to go?
No clue. I'm still kind of thinking about that. We're maybe getting a house here soon, a couple years from now, so we'll see. Probably put it somewhere up there.
So not only do you, by the way, if you're watching on YouTube, here's the clip of the first hit. And you can see Johnson the first. Which coach? I tried to look up his first name. I don't know
he was my AAA coach. His name's Josh Johnson.
Okay. Yeah, I looked up on the Rangers website to see his name. He wasn't listed on the coaching staff right there.
Yeah, he was filling in for our third base coach because he hurt his calf or something like that.
What a weird scenario for all of that
crazy
to transpire the way it did. So a 3 for 4 debut. And then you go out the next day, you get plunked a couple times, but you get on base again, and it's and then all of a sudden they move you up. Dude, you're batting freaking leadoff. I mean, what were those conversations like, or did you have those conversations Or did you just show up to the park and like, oh, look, I'm actually batting leadoff today?
Well, yeah. So I get to the park or whatever, and one of the guys looks at me and says, Larry leadoff today, huh? And I'm like, what's this guy talking about? And I go look at the lineup card, and it's got me batting leadoff. And I was like, oh, my. Facing Corey Kluber.
But against Kluber in your first freaking AP, you doubled.
Yeah, it was crazy. But no, I found out there. I think the reason I started at leadoff that day was because Corey Seager had a day off. And so, I don't know. I guess they just thought it was a good fit. But, yeah, no, that was crazy. If I'd have known that the night before, I'd have definitely gotten a little bit more nervous.
Man, it's probably a good thing you didn't. So, so had you faced Kluber in, I don't know, in any of the spring training or anything like that? Was that your first time ever facing him?
No, yeah, that was my first time ever facing him.
Oh, man. So you're up there against Kluber, and you double in your first AB
yeah,
against
so
him. Yeah, go ahead.
It was funny. I was like watching video on like his last starts or whatever, and to almost like every left-handed batter, it was fastball down the middle, cutter up and in. And so I'm sitting fastball down the middle. I'm like, I'm telling myself because I don't want to strike out. I'm like, dude, you're swinging first pitch, fastball. You know it's coming. Take the fastball right down the middle. Exactly what I was looking for. Took it, and then he goes cutter up and in. I knew he's throwing it, and I took a terrible check swing or whatever, and then he threw he ended up throwing a sinker like up and away that I kind of stayed on.
It's worked out, man. Josh Smith is our guest. Okay, so then I keep checking the lineup. I'm just assuming you're going to be in it. You're not. Come to find out, you go to the injured list. So what happened?
Yeah, so it was like late in the game this past Friday. I kind of like awkwardly dove for a ball at third and landed on my shoulder and sprained my left AC joint in my shoulder. So it's a 10-day IL stint, whatever. And so I literally can't play until next Tuesday, I think. But we have an off day today, so I'm giving it some rest today. But we've been doing a lot of like rehab on it and stuff, and it's been getting better each day. So I think tomorrow I might try to swing a little bit, and hopefully we'll progress. But it'll probably be sometime, hopefully next week, that I'll be back in there. So we'll see.
But you're up. Like, have they communicated that they're planning for you to stay and to be in the lineup?
That they haven't straight up told me that, but I am traveling with the team right now. We're in Chicago right now we play the White Sox tomorrow. So I'm here doing the rehab, traveling with them, but. You never know. I could get sent back down, whenever. So just try to take it all in and try to do what I can.
By the way, your ESPN.com profile has you listed at 6'5", 230.
Yeah, that's right.
Have you grown since we've seen you last?
Yeah, that's right. No doubt.
like, did they just
6'5", 230?
I'm dead serious, bro. Look, here it is.
You sure there's two Josh Smiths in the Rangers organization, and he's a big boy. That might be him.
Oh, look, you're right. He's a lefty too, right?
Lefty pitcher.
That's it. They got the wrong Josh. That's whenever
I'm the 5'8", I'm the 5'8", 171.
Yeah, bro. That's when we still. And I don't think you were not also born in Saline, Michigan, either.
No chance. Baton Rouge, baby.
Okay, understood there. So, hey, so you're healing up the shoulder. And like, what is next? I mean, I would imagine for a guy right now that's, what are you hitting for? I don't even know if you're paying attention at all. What are you hitting, 417, something like that?
Something around there, yeah. But it's limited at that.
Yeah, right, limited at that. That's it. Just doubling off of Corey Kluber and going 3-4 your debut. On base percentage is like 750 right now. But I mean, what do you kind of do day to day right now? I mean, when you're up, you're having success. But I mean, like you just mentioned, nothing is ever really given at that level.
Yeah, so, I mean, I kind of just treat it the same as when I was in the minor leagues. I have a routine that I do when I get to the field, stick to it. This is cliche, but it is the same game, just a little bit more expectations and a little bit more eyes on you, So I really just try to be the same guy and not do anything really too different.
I'm going to pull up by the way, go follow Josh's YouTube channel there as well. He's got the his debut vlog up right now. I guess who shoots does Claire shoot at all, or do you?
Yeah, Claire does. She usually does most of the videoing. I'll video a little bit, but she does a lot of the editing, or she does all the editing. She's good at that, so I leave that to her.
So I just want to go right back like to the debut, and this is the part where you're seeing your family after the game for the first time. For those that are watching it, you're seeing all this right now. Like, while you're having a 3-for-4, I mean, the debut itself has to be surreal, but while you're having a debut like you had, do you stop at any point during that and go, like, this is unbelievable. Like, I can't believe this. Like, I'm here.
The whole game. The whole game, it was like I get the first hit, and I was like, all right, sweet, we're here. You're ready. And then I get the second hit, and I'm like, dang, this is a really good day. And then the third hit, I was like, what is going on? Like, it just didn't feel real, but it was insane just to run out there. And I feel like I did a good job of taking it all in and just kind of enjoyed the moment.
Did I see also on Twitter that, like, your sister had a baby that day? It's like, what else happened that week?
It was insane. Yeah, my sister had a little baby boy May 26th. So it was like 4 days before that. My younger sister graduated from St. Joseph's, and then I made my debut. So my parents were kind of having a crazy week, but I'm sure it was awesome for them.
What a week, man. That's phenomenal. Dude, we're obviously pulling for you. Very happy for you. So up in Chicago, you're eligible or available on Tuesday, right, to return, you said?
Yeah, I believe so.
All right, so y'all make sure you find. And I guess one of the really good things about being here, and all the people here kind of tick that they don't get Astros games, we do get the Rangers games in Baton Rouge. So
well, there we go. It's at the Rangers, so it's at our place.
Very nice. So y'all check it out, Globe Life. Which, I do have one thing. Is this the first or the second year of the new park?
It is the second year, I believe.
Okay.
And if you haven't been, you have to go check it out.
It looks like a barn from the outside, bro.
It is the most beautiful park I've ever seen inside. It's unbelievable.
Okay. I mean, I'll take your word for it. It's because it's across the street from the ballpark at Arlington, which was beautiful in and of itself, and and then like right next to Jerry World. But from the outside, it looks kind of like a barn.
Yeah, the outside kind of doesn't do it justice, but the inside is unreal.
Well, here's hoping you get many more opportunities to peek inside there and play some meaningful games. Man, we're happy for you. Thanks for being patient and making this happen here, and we'll be pulling for you, man. We'll be in touch.
Absolutely. Thank you, Matt. Y'all have a good one.
All right, man. Be well. That is Josh Smith, Texas Rangers infielder Josh Smith. It was kind of a crazy day. Did you watch any of them, by the way, Muse? Did you have a chance?
I did not have a chance to watch the
It
game,
was so bonkers. I mean, and they were playing some day. The game against Kluber was a day game, and so we're out at the beach, and I come back inside and like had to get Drew lunch and everything, and so it's like right at 1:00, and I'm like, oh, let me see if there's any day baseball, and I'll be damned. Like it was like literally 1:06. And I turn on the TV.
Right at first pitch.
Right, but they were the home team. So I watched the top of the first, and then Josh is leading off, and he doubles off a Kluber. I'm like, this is unbelievable. I mean, we've seen that before. Guys homer in their first at bat or something like that. But in 4 out of 5 days, he was just boom, boom, boom. It was an incredible start. So he was ready, man. He was great here. He was great at LSU in a leadoff role. I mean, a guy that could hit for, one thing I wanted to ask him, I forgot. No batting gloves still. No batting gloves.
Love the no batting gloves.
And he plays with his wedding band on as well. And it's not like one of those rubber wedding bands. It's like the metal band, which I don't know how that would, bro, against up on a wooden bat.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's interesting.
I mean, respect. Yeah. I'm not saying like, we've seen guys like, I think Andy Dalton maybe was the first to.
In the NFL, yeah. Played with it on.
But he's got but it's like one of those rubber ones, right? Yeah. It looks almost like a rubber band. So, that's fine. That's all good. But
Saints quarterback Andy Dalton.
How about that? It's true. Saints backup.
Saints backup.
Who's not QB1.
No.
Who's happy to be here. All right. And the Bears tweeted QB1 last year.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Not good.
Bears.
Not good Bears. No. It is good. Hudco Roofing. HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone tell you that every single day. A couple of things I would love to tell you about. 2 things. One, this week, proud to announce, we do have boots on the ground now in Lafayette. So if you're in the 337, we're happy to help you. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. We'll always travel. Now we have a daily boots on the ground presence in Lafayette. So we're serving the entire state of Louisiana. You got a roofing issue, we can help. Repairs, replacements, soft wash, inspections, we can do it all. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. And we have a commercial division as well. We talk so much about residential, and that, of course, is the primary focus of the business is helping you beautify the exterior of your home. And if you have a roof issue at your home, we're happy to help. But if you have a commercial building, if it's new construction or you have some issue with your roof on your commercial building, we have a commercial division. We can help as well. So if it's residential or commercial, repairs, replacements, soft wash, we can do all of it at Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every single day. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. HudcoRoofing.com. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll go around the SEC. Billy Embody in 30 minutes from right now. Eric Reiselman 1 hour from right now. Thank you for being here right now on AFR.
AFR.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safes Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet.
Louisiana's country station.
100.7 The Tiger.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Our Lady of the Lake Ascension and 100.7 The Tigers Swamp Pomp Music Festival and Jambalaya Cook-Off is Saturday, June the 25th from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Lamar Dixon. Thanks to our title sponsor, Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Jambalaya Cook-Off sponsor, Mike Ward's Liberty Safe, and presenting sponsor, Supreme Chevrolet. All the proceeds from the Jambalaya Cook-Off plates will go to Alzheimer's Services. For the lineup of bands and to purchase tickets, go to 1045ESPN.com.
Remember yesterday on the show, if you were here, our old buddy Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball kind of threw a little breadcrumb out there when he said he expected some LSU transfer portal news to pop pretty soon. Well, today, Kendall Rogers tweeted that UCLA right-handed pitcher Thatcher Hurd has entered the portal, followed that up with a quote tweet saying, I'm reading the tweet, I would keep a very close eye on at LSU Baseball for Thatcher Hurd. So maybe kind of telling us without telling us there. My assumption is that's who Kendall was referring to yesterday on AFR when he mentioned that there would be some portal news relevant to LSU. So I would be lying if I told you I knew much or anything about Thatcher Hurd other than, kind of trying to look him up today. So Thatcher Hurd just finished his freshman season at UCLA. He's a right-handed pitcher from the state of California, 6'4", 200 pounds. And he actually was having a pretty good freshman season, but then he got shut down the last 2 months of the season with a back injury. His best game of the season was actually against Jay Johnson's former team, Arizona. He pitched 6 innings against Arizona, allowed just 1 run on 2 hits, struck out 4, walked 1. That was on March 27th. So he was starting as a freshman in the UCLA rotation, and back injury. He only threw a third of an inning against Oregon on April the 3rd, didn't pitch again. So for the season, just 34 innings pitched, 48 strikeouts to 10 walks, which is a pretty good ratio there, obviously. 48 strikeouts, in 34 innings pitched. It's a pretty good ratio. So LSU in need of pitching. Looks like they might be getting a transfer there from UCLA. We'll keep you posted if, in fact, that does pop. One of the things that's worth mentioning, so the transfer portal for baseball, for players to be eligible next season, they have to have entered the portal by July 1. So, you're talking, 3 weeks-ish until that deadline. So just prepare yourself because this is going to be a little bit of a whirlwind over the next 3 weeks, just like at the end of any football season or whatever, it's just boom, 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 boom. We saw it in basketball this year, obviously with the turnover with Will Wade, but that's going to happen rapidly. And listen, we've talked about it. There's going to be a lot of LSU guys from this team that enter the portal. You're going to turn over a lot of roster spots. You got some guys who have finished their eligibility. Some guys are going to be drafted highly or are going to sign. And then you've got guys that just aren't going to be back. They'll be, I always struggle to try to find a sort of respectful way to say it, but that just won't. That I don't want to say cut. That's just processed or however you want to say it. But I think you understand what I'm saying. They're going to be some guys that just aren't back. They're not going to have a spot. So, we should see a lot of that transfer portal news in baseball over the next 3 weeks. We'll keep you posted. But Thatcher Hurd, Hurd, that's one to keep an eye on, apparently, according to Kendall Rogers for LSU. Would be another big arm with major college experience if it pops. All right, we're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020. Yesterday was Warren Morris Day, and I should have mentioned this yesterday, but Warren Morris actually had his LASIK done at the Williamson Eye Center. So it doesn't matter if you're Warren Morris, if you're Andre Anthony, if you're Sage Ryan, John Emery, or Kaylavon Chasson or Devin White or any of dozens of elite athletes that have had their LASIK done and trusted their eyes to Dr. Blake Williamson, or if you're a yokel like me, whatever the case may be, if you want to see 2020 without contacts or glasses, the Williamson Eye Center can help. And maybe you've been told in the past you're not a great candidate for LASIK. I was told that. And then turns out when I went and met with Dr. Blake, I was a perfect candidate for LASIK. So let an ophthalmologist make that decision. But even if you're not a candidate for LASIK, they have refractive procedures. I've told you before, my dad had RK in the early 90s. He was a perfect candidate for their lens replacement. Jacob Hester has told you before, like he had LASIK when he was playing football. Your eye continues to age. So LASIK never wears off, but other parts of your eye can age and deteriorate. So he had a different issue. PRK was perfect for him. So maybe that's an option. So check it out at the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020. Just go for that consultation. 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com. All right, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Vanderbilt Commodores.
All right, a Vanderbilt right-hander, speaking of transfer portal, Vanderbilt right-hander Christian Little. How about this one? He's entered the transfer portal. Christian Little was one of the top recruits of the class of 2021. He reclassified, joined the Commodores for the 2021 season. So he was the midweek starter primarily during his freshman year when Vandy had the great season a year ago, finished national runner-up, and then worked mostly out of the bullpen this year as a sophomore. Now he's in the transfer portal. Vandy just suffered its first losing SEC record since 2009. As we mentioned, baseball players have until July 1 to enter their name into the portal to be immediately eligible next year.
The South Carolina Gamecocks.
Carolina's losing 2-year starting catcher Colin Burgess. He's entered the transfer portal. So far, 4 Gamecocks have entered the portal. 4 entered the portal shortly after their one-and-done showing in the SEC tournament, and now Burgess becomes number 5. He started 96 games the last 2 seasons, hit .231 for the Gamecocks. South Carolina did bring in 2 freshman catchers this year, and they've got 2 catcher signees for this current class as well. So they do have options there behind the dish.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
And former Alabama wide receiver Javon Baker, he's committed to transfer to Central Florida, where he will play for former Auburn coach Gus Malzahn. So Baker played the last 2 seasons for Bama. Initially, when he entered the transfer portal in January, he committed to Kentucky, but Kentucky pulled his scholarship from him, so gave him his unconditional release. Now he'll land at Central Florida, who will play this year in the American before next year moving into the Big 12. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, GCOPnet.com, GCOPnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get. Check out the website at GCOPnet.com. You need printers, scanners, faxers, all-in-ones, interactive whiteboards, so many great options. Check them out online at GCOPnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, y'all, it's After Further Review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. We'll knock out our final break of hour number 1. We do have a lot of football stuff we're going to get to. In 17 minutes from right now to start hour number 2, our buddy Billy Embody from On3 Sports, he's going to be with us. Looking forward to that. LSU had an elite camp this past weekend. How did it go? We did so much baseball in the first couple days of this week with LSU's season coming to an end after the Monday game and then the Tuesday sort of postmortem. I wanted to circle back to that. So Billy will be with us here in about 17 minutes from right now. Glad to have you aboard. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Remember, the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations are open. That is walk-in, urgent care, 7 days a week. 3 locations. Dutchtown, right next to Dutchtown High School. Nicholson, directly across the street from Tiger Stadium. It's right next to Torchy's Tacos. And then on Highland, just through the south gates of LSU. So if you're going south on Highland, you exit the south gates of LSU. Can't miss it on the right. brgeneral.org. You can check in online. You can check wait times online. Right now, there's a 6-minute wait at Dutchtown. No wait at Highland or Nicholson, by the way. For a list of the services that they treat, you can go to the website or the Baton Rouge General app at brgeneral.org. They have a lab, x-ray machine, EKG at all locations, brgeneral.org, to learn more about the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations. Again, walk-in urgent care 7 days a week, brgeneral.org.
Come on over to Corval Toyota to pre-order your next vehicle. It's an easy and stress-free process. Browse, reserve, pick up, and enjoy. It's that simple. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Remember, you can always text us in the 225. It's 396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Scott Morvan said Thatcher Hurd has to be a frat name. I think we should call Sharif. Would you do me a favor and just get Sharif on the phone? He's probably listening because even though we have, I would say this great rivalry, but Sharif and I, a rivalry, that's like a hammer and a nail having a rivalry. It's not really a rivalry. But anyway, if we could just call Sharif, because the one thing that I will do, what is wrong? What is wrong?
The hammer and nail.
Well, let's be honest.
He's not the freaking hammer, and he's not the freaking nail.
Oh, he's the nail.
He's the opponent.
In this air quotes rivalry between me and Sharif, I am very much the hammer. He is the lowly nail. If I could steal a line from Les Miles, then get nailed.
Yeah, the hammer and nail. Oh, Lord.
Anyway, do me a favor. Call Sharif. We'll get a Thatcher Hurd reference or judgment here. But first, and then someone else did. Well, hang on. I'll tell you. I'd rather give someone attribution. So it was Sean Carter on Twitter who asked, hearing Josh Day may look to transfer. If so, would you rather Maui Ahuna, even though Day has hit well against SEC pitching? So very quickly, I won't spend a ton of time on this. Maui Ahuna is the shortstop from Kansas who's in the transfer portal. He hit nearly 400 this year. I've heard Tennessee is of interest there. Josh Day is the shortstop from Missouri who hit 340 this year. He's a big, long, athletic kid. Here's what I think. I think LSU absolutely will be in the market for a shortstop in the transfer portal. I think it goes without saying. And it's not to say that Jordan Thompson won't be back or anything, because I think he will be. But what I think will undeniably happen is you've got to bring in competition there. And so if there's a guy who hit 340 or 400, which Maui Ahuna did last year, who's a potential first-round draft pick, and you could bring him in and fix that problem immediately, you do it. So if you're Jay Johnson, you at least have to be in the market for a transfer player on the infield, and then you let people come in and you compete for jobs to see how it all work out. Okay, we have Sharif. I'm going to make him wait real quick. So Andy Garcia was on Jimmy Kimmel. This is weird, but it has a local tie, but this is amazing. The actor Andy Garcia was on the Jimmy Kimmel show. I did not see this live. Tip of the cap to my buddy Stevie Levy, the king of the wing, the owner at Pluckers, Steve Levy, who saw this, sent it to me. This is amazing. Listen to Andy Garcia talk about his youth in Miami playing baseball. Give a listen.
Coach, your little league coach, baseball, was Mickey Rourke. You told me this once before.
Yes.
And I think about it sometimes.
Of course you do. Because in the middle of the night, you go, oh, Mickey Rourke, Mickey Rourke.
And I was like, wait, what's the age difference? It turns out he's only 3 years older than you.
But like the older pony leaguers would coach the little leaguers.
Oh, they
we
would?
didn't have a lot of coaches.
Yeah, I get. Well, yeah.
He was very good, by the way. We won the city championship. Mickey, a shout out to Mickey.
Mickey was a good coach.
And he was a good player. He just was. It was difficult for him to stay on the team.
I see.
But he was very good.
I would imagine he'd be a good player. The coaching
very
part.
Good. Yeah, just our coach, Skip Bertman, who won many national titles later on with LSU, all state titles in Florida.
Really?
Coached the Olympic team and he coached at UM. He's a really famous baseball coach. He was very disciplined about what, you had to follow the rules. And Mickey had another path.
How about that? Are you kidding me? What an incredible tidbit there. So Andy Garcia, the famous actor from Miami, was coached by Mickey Rourke and Skip Bertman in Pony League. Skip Bertman was a Pony League baseball coach in Miami, and he had Mickey Rourke and Andy Garcia on his team. How in the world did we have a whole Skip Bertman documentary where they talked to all his high school guys? Remember that?
Yeah.
In Hold the Rope? Nobody mentioned Mickey Rourke and Andy Garcia. It's amazing. You know who we will mention now? Thatcher Hurd. All right, Sharif is here. Sharif Ishak, that no-talent TV guy from New Orleans. How are you? I don't care. All right, give me a judgment here on Thatcher Hurd, the name. Frat-tastic? What do we think?
We're giving that one. We're going to put that in the 5-star category. I like that.
Oh, how about it? Listen to that, a 5-star. All right, what is it about Thatcher Hurd that makes it 5-star?
Thatcher, man. Thatcher. It's like I told you, any last names that are dropping in the first names, 100% getting you a 5-star. I don't really look at the last name with the first name, but if I can get a Thatcher as the first, we're giving that strong 5-star ties. Just like my guy, Hurston Waltrip from Southern Miss, and on top of that, he's really good.
Yes.
So that's a real 5-star.
And had a little bit. Yeah, give me the bell again there, Muse. I mean, let's do it again. Sure, that's a 5-star bell. And it kind of had the frat flow as well coming out of the back of the hat. Does that count? Does that matter?
It earns you extra points for sure.
Okay.
I mean, that's as top as a 5-star you get with baseball. Great first name and last name, the hair out of the hat. And you're really good.
Now, I have one follow-up. So you said if the last name is the first name, what if it's like Smith? What if your first name is Smith or Jones? I have some friends, their oldest son's name is Jones. His name is Jones Brown. Is that a frat-tastic name to be Jones Brown?
I don't really get I wouldn't go that high on that one.
Okay.
It's got to be something like you're not going to like this. A Musso Moscona would be great.
Don't worry. There will never be a Musso Moscona as long as the earth is spinning. That much I can assure you. We're down to our final 15 seconds, so mercifully we didn't have to talk to you very long. No thank you, but thank you for your time. Thank you, but no thank you.
the best minute and a half you had today.
That is completely false. Not even close to being a reality. I'm so glad I don't have to talk to you anymore. Sharif Ishak. This is After Further Review. Hour 2. We'll talk to Billy Embody next.
AFR.
Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com. Michelli.com. One of the biggest things that Michelli is hearing right now from so many of its customers and clients is turnaround time. How big that is. So let's say, hypothetically, you have devices that need to be calibrated. If you're used to shipping them off to a calibration lab in Chicago or somewhere else, which should take 7 to 10 days right now, and sometimes it's taken 8 to 10 weeks, you just can't stay efficient that way. So Michelli, the great thing about Michelli is they're here with 29 calibration labs across 11 different states they're nearby. How about if Michelli just comes by the office, picks up your devices, brings them back, calibrates them, and returns them to you? Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. Makes you more efficient. And they love doing business face-to-face. ISO 17025 accreditation is available. Installations, calibrations, repairs, preventative maintenance. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $5,000 off the new 2022 Wagoneer. We have Wagoneers in stock with $5,000 off. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The new Big Money Live Golf Tour opened its inaugural event today in England, and the PGA Tour fired back by suspending 17 of its members who are in the field. 10 of the 17, including Dustin Johnson, Sergio Garcia, and Lee Westwood, have already resigned from the PGA Tour. At the Buccaneers' mandatory minicamp today, quarterback Tom Brady says he's happy to be back with the team after his 6-week retirement.
I think there was a lot of things about me not ended up kind of having a normal offseason. I got to figure out what it would look like, which was really interesting for me. So it was good. I got a lot of good discussions with different people and learned a lot. And it should be a smoother transition than I would have thought.
Brady also says he has a great relationship with former head coach Bruce Arians, who resigned shortly after Brady announced he was coming back. ESPN's Adam Schefter reports the potential Broncos ownership group is talking with Peyton Manning about a possible advisory role that could lead to a stake in the franchise. Manning won a Super Bowl in his 4 seasons with the Broncos.
Feeling great starts with a great shave. And great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. And for a limited time only, capture your Barbasol Jurassic World collector cans before they're gone.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2 off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Matt, I am sweating. Taylor Sharp. Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. We'll talk to Eric Reiselman in 30 minutes from right now. Wrapped up his first and quite likely his only season in Baton Rouge, but excited to talk to him. He's been a good friend of the show ever since he first committed to LSU. So we're excited now to talk to him with his first season in Baton Rouge over. Brian Kelly's first season in Baton Rouge on the horizon. His first summer camps, first elite camps. All that's happening right now. Good time to ring up our buddy Billy Embody from On3 Sports. The Bengal Tiger is the name of the On3 LSU website, so you can go check it out there. Good enough to talk some recruiting with us now. Billy, thanks, man. How are you?
Doing well, Matt. How about you?
Fantastic, man. Can we start with sort of, for the complete novice, how the summer camp and recruiting calendar is set up?
Yeah, absolutely. So the end of May marked the end of the spring eval period, so the coaches are no longer on the road recruiting and evaluating prospects and getting them to watch them in spring ball and things like that. But now it turns to camp season. So coaches can either go out to some of these mega camps that some colleges put on where they invite a bunch of schools to come watch these prospects and coach them up, or they can obviously host their own camps on campus, which LSU is doing. They've also gone out to Tulane to their camp. But then also it's unofficial visit and LSU official visit galore right now. I mean, it really is pretty crazy. Just every single day they have an unofficial visitor, at least one on campus, checking out the facilities, meeting with the coaches, doing the photo shoots. And then on top of that, Friday comes around and they start official visits and bring in a recruit and their family, sometimes coaches, and lay it all out for them and wine and dine, so to speak, and run them through all their, the program, the school, and the plan for them. And that'll run until late June, and then it all goes dead for pretty much the whole month of July before the final weekend of July, right before fall camp starts for everyone. There's a small window for unofficial, and I think you can still take official visits then, but unofficial visits as well at the end of July, just to get a look at these prospects one more time.
So June is massive for the camps and to get these guys on campus. So let's go back to last weekend. What or who was notable in Baton Rouge this last weekend?
Yeah, it was a really good haul of offensive linemen, quarterbacks, and I would say defensive backs, just kind of looking at it, from what we're normally used to seeing at these camps for LSU. The elite camp is next weekend, which has always been, honestly the place to be as far as June college camps. So much so that, we have our national analysts that have come in the past here or there for some of those camps. That's how stacked it's been in the past, at least. But this past weekend's camps were split up between one offensive lineman, defensive lineman camp, and then the skills. And I got to say, Joe Sloan did a great job bringing in some really talented arms to throw at the skills camp on Sunday. They had a top 50 quarterback in the class of 2024 in Jaden Bradford. They had Mabry Metar, who's long been a guy on the radar for LSU in the class of 2024. They had Jackson Jensen, who's started to pick up some Power 5 attention. They really just had a terrific group of prospects on campus. Michael Hawkins as well, who's a 4-star quarterback. And then even a 2026 quarterback that was in the top group, slinging it down the field. He was really impressive, Brody McWhorter out of the state of Georgia. So this is a time for the coaches to really kind of get these prospects on campus, work them out. We didn't see as many 2023 guys out there, but there were some local prospects like Dutchtown's Dixon Agu who impressed. Ashton Stamps is a defensive back out of New Orleans who had a good camp. Juwan Johnson out of LCA, he plays quarterback for them, but he added an offer as a corner after his performance. 2024 prospect there who looks like he's going to be one of the better ones in the state. And then, like I said, the elite camp and then the defensive lineman, offensive lineman camp tomorrow with the 7-on-7 tournament that they host is going to be pretty well attended.
Billy Embody's with us on 3 Sports on Twitter at Billy Embody. Hey, Billy, have you been able to tell at this point how you might compare or contrast how Brian Kelly's staff is handling this part of the recruiting calendar compared to what the former staff did?
It's tough to see until we see how the elite camp goes, because that'll kind of tell us the story of whether the staff, honestly, in year one was successful in getting a lot of their top prospects to camp. I think whether it was Les Miles or Ed Ogeron and Nick Saban before that, LSU's gotten these guys to camp. I mean, when you see Jarvis Landry, Odell, Jamar, Stingley, most of these guys have camp video from LSU that pops back up when they're doing things in the NFL, and that's because they camped and were ready for that moment to show their stuff. And I still think that's important for colleges to get your top prospects on campus to camp and work out and be coached. So we'll kind of know that once the elite camp passes as far as comparing the two. But I will say this. It was funny. I was talking with another in-state school's one of their assistants at the camp last weekend, and he said, man, I don't know what it's like now, but I just feel like some of the people that are either still here or whatever are probably feeling a little bit better that they weren't, screamed at over getting guys to camp. I mean, it was a big priority for Ed Ogeron, and honestly, they did a really, really good job of getting prospects to camp because there was such an emphasis about getting these guys to camp.
Do we expect, Billy, the class to grow this summer, the class of commitments? Because I know different coaches have different approaches, right? If they want to get a lot of guys committed early in the summer, if they want to wait. Do we know yet how Brian Kelly and his staff want to handle this?
Yeah, so I think there's going to be a good run of commitments, or at least prospects that have LSU right in the mix and are top targets for the staff that are going to make their decisions right around the 4th of July. We're starting to see some guys stack up their commitment announcements. You look at Christian Gray, who's one of the official visitors on campus. He's circled the 4th of July for a long time as his commitment date. Jackson Howard, who's one of the top edge prospects for Jamar Kane, has circled the July 4th commitment date. You look at Collins Achiampong, who is just on campus. He's an edge and tight end athlete. He is going to commit to a school on July 1st. So these guys are taking these visits in June, and then a lot of them are making that decision right after the month ends. So I think we're going to see a run of a lot of these targets make their decisions, and we'll see. I do think that LSU's class grows, and they'll start to kind of build a little bit of momentum, but we'll be able to honestly tell a lot of where this class is headed probably around July 5th, quite honestly.
Okay. Billy, before you go, I feel like I'm probably not going to be able to do any type of recruiting segment without asking something about NIL. How or has that impacted this cycle, at least at this point, as best you can tell? Or is it with respect to camps and how the recruiting game is being played right now?
Yeah, honestly, I think it's still tough to tell because we'll see some of these prospects that do take it all the way to December or February. Those could be guys that make or break the class. And so it's until those guys that are on LSU's board make those decisions, it's tough to say. But like you said, as of now, I'm seeing it impacted in various ways. Like right now, the guys that are committed to LSU, Ryan Yates, Michael Doherty, Mac Markaway, Dalen Austin, and Trey Holly, I wouldn't necessarily peg as, NIL lands, quite honestly, and that's not knocking them. It just is how their recruitment's played out, and they played out fairly early. I know Dalen and Ryan are still going to take visits, so maybe that changes things eventually. But right now, LSU has seen its target list stay pretty consistent, but we're also seeing some guys, and it's funny you asked this. I was talking about this on our message board with some subscribers today. We're seeing some prospects go ahead and make their cuts. And in the past, I think LSU might have stayed on that list and gotten a late official visit. And at times, people would have gotten jacked up and said, oh, man, LSU's right in the mix for example, like Tristan Lee in the past or some of these other prospects that have kind of had LSU buzz over the summer and things like that. But instead, they're kind of just cutting them. And Yonel Aguero was kind of the one that I brought up as an example on the board. He's a 4-star safety. He went to LSU, I believe, 2 or 3 times in like a month for unofficial visits. You kind of thought he would take an official visit, but I had heard that NIL is going to be a big part of his decision, and he ended up cutting LSU, and they don't even get an official visit, which I think kind of shared where LSU stood, at least with the programs they were battling for him with NIL. Now, I think LSU is getting organized, and I do think some of these elite guys that they need to keep home, if that's a priority for them in the state of Louisiana, that's going to be something to watch. Can they make up ground with Derek Williams, who was just on campus? Shelton Sampson has long been a top target. LSU sits in a good spot for him. Some of these in-state guys, that could be where they really can make a move with those guys and finish really strong. And then I think they do have a list of top-tier targets that they're going to need all the NIL support to get. You look at Nicholas Harbor, Chase Besantis. These are elite defensive and offensive linemen, just for example. And honestly, those are some of the guys that in the past we would have just, said that, let's just say their circumstances were changed or whatever, and they were pushed to signing places, but now you could just talk about it. It's NIL. And those are guys that they'll need full support to help land those guys, and they've done a really good job recruiting them to be in positions to still have the NIL conversation if need be, whatever that looks like down the stretch.
Good stuff as always, man. He's on Twitter at Billy Embody. Make sure you follow him there. Go read stuff at on3sports.com. We appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Anytime, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Man, be well. That is Billy Embody. This is After Further Review. Eric Reiselman joins us in 15 minutes from right now. Brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Quick break. Are the Saints and the Rams basically the same team? There's an argument to be made. We'll talk about it next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Yo, we are in hurricane season right now. Do not be left in the dark when the power goes out. Do what I did. Call Schutz Electric or log on CESofLA.com. CESofLA.com. Hurricanes, power outages, part of the reality of living in Louisiana. That's why Schutz Electric can install an automatic standby generator. So when the power goes out at your house, boom, that Generac generator powers on, and your whole home is powered. Everything from the AC and the refrigerator, everything. CESofLA.com. And I'll tell you one of the things that sets Schutz Electric apart. Not only have they been a leader in the electrical space in Baton Rouge for 20-plus years now, but they only use in-house installers. They don't outsource their work, so you're going to get a great customer service experience as well. CESofLA.com for an automatic home standby generator. It's affordable. Financing is available. CESofLA.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Kids have staked out their place at Ochsner Medical Complex The Grove, where more than 30 pediatricians and pediatric specialists are all conveniently located under one roof, so you can spend less time driving and more time keeping your kids well. Yes! It's no wonder kids call dibs at The Grove. Ochsner Health Center for Children.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Upload a picture of your dad doing dad things to 1045ESPN.com now through June 9th. That's today, for a chance to win him a full-day guided offshore fishing trip for up to 6 people out of Grand Isle with Double J Charters, and a 20-quart Gator cooler, all courtesy of Mallard Bay, plus a Father's Day gift of meats from Bet-R Supermarkets Deli. Then June 10th through the 15th, you can vote for your favorite Rad Dad at 1045ESPN.com, and on June 16th, we'll crown the Raddest Dad our winner. Happy Father's Day from Mallard Bay, Bet-R Supermarkets, and 1045 ESPN.
That sounds awesome for dads that aren't me. It does sound like a great deal, like for people that are most of you, but not me.
You wouldn't even go on like an offshore fishing trip? I'd at least go.
I would not get on the boat.
Okay.
Not interested.
Okay.
I would go and stay in the place where we're going to stay, assuming it's is it an overnight thing or no?
No, it doesn't say. It just says
okay,
full day guided
no.
offshore.
No thanks.
Okay.
Because you know what happens. They wake you up at the ass crack of dawn, and they run you out there in the water, and you're freezing, and then you got to throw your line, and they're going to run you up against this pylon, and that's where you put the shrimp on the hook, because that's where they really bite, right there against the pylon, and you sit there, and you don't catch anything, and then they run you somewhere else, and you feel like you're going to throw up off the side of the boat, and you pee off the side of the boat. They run you, and you get your, and even if you do catch some stuff, and you're running you back in, and I'm good. It's not for me.
Okay.
It's not for me. I'm serious, though. It sounds like an awesome prize for somebody else. Not for me. But you should totally enter because I get it. Sportsman's paradise. People fish and stuff. But not me. I am not and have never been the guy that says, the media hates my team. The media is biased against my team. I've never been that guy. The media doesn't hate your team. More often than not, the media just doesn't care about your team. This is an interesting one, though, because I think the Rams are the Saints, the way their organization is run. And the Saints kind of get crushed for it, and the Rams don't. Now, there's one very, 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 very notable difference, and that is that the Rams won the Super Bowl, okay? When you look at how they are constructing their teams, though, they're basically doing the same thing. The Saints have been all in for the last decade with Drew Brees. They have been all in. They trade up in the draft. They don't value draft capital. They give gigantic contracts. They sometimes overspend. They have a lot of dead cap money. They have to do cap gymnastics. We know it all, right? To get around, to be within cap compliance, but they always make it work. And time and again, the media, the capologists and all these people crush the Saints for the way they go about doing it. The Saints, in those final handful of years with Drew Brees, won more games than any team in the NFL, but they didn't win a Super Bowl. They were defined from 2017 to 2020 by playoff disappointment. That's fair. The Minneapolis Miracle, the Nola no call, losing at home to Minnesota with the Kyle Rudolph catch. I mean, you know them all. Tampa in the Dome. You know it all. We lived it, and many of you saw me blow a gasket and be miserable and dismayed when they had their playoff collapses, but that's the difference. I mean, our friend Matthew Musso here spent 2 months at the end of last year calling the Rams frauds. Oh, every week. Called them frauds. I mean, like I called Arkansas the Arkan frauds, but they won 9 games. Like, they weren't any good. They got blown out by good teams. The Rams won the Super Bowl. They weren't frauds. But you could make the case leading up to that point and all that stuff. I only bring this up because the Rams signed Cooper Kupp to an $80 million extension. So, $75 million guaranteed. It's now a $110 million contract over 5 years. It's the most guaranteed money ever for a wide receiver. And this is after they made Aaron Donald the highest paid non-quarterback in the NFL. And this is after, of course, they traded 2 drafts away for Matthew Stafford. And they re-signed Bobby Wagner, and they re-signed Allen Robinson, and they're likely going to re-sign Odell Beckham as well. And last year they went and got Von Miller, and now he's in Buffalo, but they won a Super Bowl, right? They're basically the same damn team. Like, they're doing the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, the Saints right now actually have more cap space than the Rams do. They are completely devaluing the draft. They are trading away their draft assets for current assets. They don't have a number 1 pick next year either, by the way. They are overspending for guys like Cooper Kupp. And Cooper Kupp's great. He led the NFL in receiving yards. He was great. He was great. But you're spending $110 million on a wide receiver. Like, these are things that aren't generally going to be lauded. Like the Saints paid Michael Thomas $95 million, and they paid Lattimore, and they paid Kamara, and they paid Ramchick, and on and on and on they go. And they always seem to find a way to get within cap compliance. And every year when you look at any type of rankings or feelings on the New Orleans Saints, it's always that they're capped, they're irresponsible fiscally, they're always in cap hell. That's not how you structure a team. And the point I've made for years and years and years here is there's no such thing as cap hell. The Saints just do it differently. They arrive at the same end. They're They've been massively successful, and they've just done it in an unconventional manner. The Rams are doing the exact same thing right now. The Rams are doing exactly what the Saints have done for the last half decade. They just happen to win a Super Bowl. And one of the real kicks in the nuts here, if I can be a little crude there, is the Saints' best opportunity was in 2018, and it was the Rams with the no call who stood in the way. Because you know the Saints were beating the Patriots. Like, you know the Saints were beating that Patriots team to win the Super Bowl. So how different is the conversation around the Saints if they had gotten over the hump and won one of those Super Bowls? It's massively different. Every conversation about Sean Payton being one of the greatest coaches of all times, if he had gotten his second. If Drew Brees in the pantheon of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, if he had gotten his second. But he didn't. And that's why the conversation is defined that way. Because in football, we look at championships. That's what matters the most. It's why people will, certainly Tom Brady is at the top of that list, but why John Elway getting his 2 Super Bowls late in his career have moved him past Dan Marino, although by all accounts, Dan Marino was the greatest quarterback of his generation. It's why Jim Kelly, despite going to 4 Super Bowls, having never won one, is never in that conversation of the greatest of all time. What if he had split 2? How different is the conversation around Jim Kelly's career? You all know this. You understand this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But here is a very clear illustration of how winning the last game of the season completely changes the conversation, the narrative around what you are, as opposed to when you have playoff disappointments like the Saints have had over the last half decade. The Saints are the Rams. They're the same, except that the Rams won a Super Bowl. And that matters tremendously. But the two methodologies are exactly the same right now. All right. We're brought to you by GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans. You know the drill. GMFS Mortgage. Y'all, if this is the time of the year when you're thinking about moving, start by getting in touch with a local loan officer. Get pre-qualified to see how much home you can afford to buy. GMFS Mortgage can help hold your hand along that path. GMFSmortgage.com. Again, one of our state's largest local lender. That's GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. Okay, when we come back, Eric Reiselman will join us. Looking forward to this. Guy's been a good friend to the show ever since he first committed to LSU. And his LSU career is likely now over. As we expect, he will be called. His name will be called early in next month's draft, and he will sign. But I want to talk to Eric about a kid from California coming to Louisiana, getting experience LSU baseball for a year, and what his impressions were. So we'll put a bow on that with Eric Reiselman when we come back. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
We are hitting triple-digit temps, y'all. Incredible. Actually, it's not. It's just summer in Louisiana. It's what happens every single year. Don't you do it. Don't you go through summer without taking care of your home central AC. Don't you do it, y'all. You wouldn't go on a cross-country trip. You wouldn't drive 3,000 miles across the country without getting your oil changed, your tire rotated, and make sure your car is good. Don't go through a Louisiana summer without making sure your AC is in tip-top shape. Call River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001. Call them today, 752-0001. Call right now, 752-0001. Say, hey, I want the preseason special thing Moscona always talks about. They'll know exactly what you're talking about. They'll come. They'll make sure your home central AC is cleaned, efficient, ready to barrel through this Louisiana summer. River City's 1 Hour Air, 752-0001, whether they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
The best things in summer are unofficial. Coors Light, the official beer of everything unofficial.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Tiger baseball season came to an end on Monday in the Hattiesburg Regional. Only one team gets to win the last game. This year it was not LSU, but it was a season where we got to witness Eric Reiselman pitching for the Tigers for this one season. There were certainly many high moments for him in the purple and gold. He's good enough to join us now. How are you, man?
Doing well, Matt. How are you?
I'm really good, man. Let me ask a stupid but obligatory question. What was it like on Monday, man, when the season came to an end?
I mean, it was, it was unexpected. I think that up until the last strike on Jordan, I thought somehow we were going to pull it off as a one-run game, and just the way that we'd been playing baseball all week, it seemed like we never ran out of fight, and I still believe that to the end. And it kind of hit you, and it was, cruel, but we kind of look back on the season, and I thought we battled, till the last out.
Man, you and I have had I've had the good fortune to talk to you a good bit ever since you committed. Like back when you were still in San Francisco and you told your story, and I think a lot of LSU fans kind of gravitated to that. When you think about this year or so, thereabout, from committing to LSU to now this moment, have you even given yourself time to process what this last year has been like for you?
I really haven't. It's moved really fast. I mean, it was really just yesterday that I was, walking through the backyard of my host family's house in the Cape talking to you half a day after committing. So, it moved really fast, and I'm just lucky to have experienced it, to have been a part of that, and especially, Coach Johnson's first year to with he's building, what he wants to build, and the vision he has, and just how bought in that everyone was into helping him achieve that. I think it's special for sure, and I'm looking forward to see what Tiger baseball holds for a while.
Yeah, man. I forgot that when we talked, you were in the Cape. So San Francisco, Cape, and then Louisiana. Who's got the best food and/or culture?
Louisiana takes both.
Okay, yes, I'm talking about. Hey, you know what's interesting? And I did go to San Francisco in February for my wedding anniversary. You actually you were very kind to send me some food recs. San Francisco's got the reputation of being a great food town. I was a little disappointed. Am I wrong?
you got to go to the right spots. I don't think in one weekend, you can find all the spots. It's a big city. So
yeah, I'll
tell you, next time you're out, I'll give you a detailed itinerary of like a four-day lineup.
Okay.
I got breakfast, lunch, and dinner for you.
Okay. I think I'm going to need it. I got a lot of wrecks, man, but we kept hitting a bunch of brick walls. But Eric Reiselman's with us. Hey, are you gonna throw this summer? What are your summer plans?
So I'm back home. Today is actually my only day back home. I take my car and I drive down to San Diego tomorrow morning and kind of prepping for the MLB Draft Combine, which I'm going to do next week in San Diego.
Cool.
And then planning to go have a couple outings in the Cape again as well before the draft.
So walk me through them this week. So obviously the game on Monday, I mean, dude, we're talking 72 hours. You're already back home. So walk me through what happened. So you all, after the game on Monday, walk me through your week.
Monday was Monday. I don't think any of us wanted to think about anything. Tuesday was kind of the day where we really took our time to figure out what the next step was. For a lot of guys going out to summer ball, and summer ball is one of those things where, for guys that aren't older or, looking to go in the draft, you try to get out there as quick as you can. Those coaches want you out there really to, whenever your season ends. That's kind of what, is written in those contracts when you sign to go play summer ball. So a lot of guys headed out, Tuesday, Wednesday to go join the summer ball teams. Some guys went home Wednesday, Thursday. We all kind of tried to meet up and have a couple days to see each other, say our goodbyes, especially the guys that, exhausted their time, their eligibility, and that we're not going to see for, we don't know how long. Just kind of show our appreciation for those guys and what they've done for us. And that's kind of how the week has gone. And then, most guys kind of made their way out here in the last couple of days.
So you flew home yesterday on Wednesday?
I did.
Okay. So flew home Wednesday, there for a day, and then driving down to San Diego. What a whirlwind. And then obviously the draft is next, and we all anticipate, and we're pulling for you, and I certainly anticipate your name is going to be called really early in the draft. Have you allowed yourself to think about what that process is going to be like for you with the draft coming up next month?
I haven't yet, and it's all kind of surreal, and for me, I kind of don't even want to believe it. I just kind of want to keep working and doing what I can to get as much better as I can in these next couple months leading up to it. To kind of put myself in the best position, whether it be the draft, whether the opportunity not present itself, and my plan B, if you have to call it, I just call it 2 plan A's, is coming back, and I think that it's awesome to be able to have both of those opportunities, in line, and kind of look towards playing professional baseball, but know that there's opportunities beyond that as well.
Yeah, man. What's crazy, when you and I talked, it's just your story where you were so close to being done with baseball early in your career, now to be at the point that you are, it's a remarkable story. I think it's the reason a lot of people gravitated toward it. What will be, and I don't mean to be presumptive to say that you will sign. Obviously, you have to go through the process and see what happens. But if you have pitched your last inning for LSU, what will be your lasting memories or your impressions of this place?
Oh, it's unbelievable, and the only thing that I would wish for is that I had 2 more years, that I had more time to see how Coach Johnson shapes this program. How the next era of LSU baseball comes in, and how happy those teams are going to make the fans in the next few years. And I'm really excited. Whether I get to watch as a spectator or as a player, I'm ecstatic to watch what he does with it, and I'm going to be back often. I want to be back as much as I can because I feel like I just didn't get enough. Baton Rouge, of Louisiana, the people, and really wish I got some more time.
Man, you wear that uniform, you'll always be welcome. I mean, that's something that you'll learn as your time goes along. People will never forget wherever you go, whatever it may be. They'll never forget that you played here and played the way you did. Physically, how do you feel right now? We've talked so much about the bullpen and how taxed the bullpen was this year, and you were asked to do a lot, man. carry some pretty big innings in leverage spots. How are you feeling right now?
I feel like physically I haven't even taken stock just because I'm, mostly just disappointed. Mostly just disappointed, about how that last day was, how that last weekend had gone, and I wish I could have done more. So, if I was asked to throw more, I would have. I haven't even taken stock of, how the arm or the shoulder is. Like, everything's in working condition. There's nothing wrong. It's just definitely, was a tough year on the guys, and guys had to step up, pitch more innings than they were used to, but I think everyone handled it really well, and the team ended in a great spot physically, especially the bullpen. I think, the guys took care of what they had to take care of off the field, recovery-wise, shoulder strengthening, all that stuff that we do on the side to make sure that we're able to get up and throw those innings. So I think that everyone, took such great ownership of that the physical part was the least of our worries towards the end there.
A 40-win season, 17 conference wins, ended up just 3 wins away from Omaha, man. It would have been, like you said, it would have been great fun to watch this squad get there. I know Jay Johnson said the same thing. They didn't want to take this squad there, but no doubt they'll be back in very, very short order. Whether it's in the purple and gold or with the big league club, man, we'll keep in touch, and everyone here will be pulling for you. Can't thank you enough for all the time, this season. And, I mean, I'm sure I'm going to keep bothering you, so I'll be in touch at some point.
At anytime, man. I really appreciate it. Love being on here.
That's our pleasure. Thanks, Eric. We'll see you, man.
Sounds good, Matt. Thanks for having me.
All right, that's Eric Reiselman. This is After Further Review. Make sure you follow him on social media. Depending on what service that you pay attention to, he's certainly a top 5 round guy. He could be a top 100 guy. So, I mean, you could be talking like in the top 3 rounds or so. That's not out of the realm of possibility for a guy that's sitting mid-90s and dotting 99. I mean, he goes to this, as he said, the draft showcase, and then goes throws a few innings in the Cape, and all these scouts who maybe didn't get to see him in person this year get to see him at the showcase. It's just, and you want that for these guys, man. Obviously, you'd love to see him back, and if the circumstance transpires to where he does end up back in Baton Rouge, you'd be ecstatic to have that. I mean, he's a redshirt sophomore, so he's got eligibility. He could play 2 more seasons. But it realistically, when guys go in the top 10 rounds, it's teams select them because they know they're going to sign. So, and he's going to. I sincerely hope that he ends up, a top 100 pick there in the top 3 rounds, gets a 7-figure signing bonus, and goes on his way and does what we're seeing Alex Lang do right now as a guy at the back of a bullpen with a sub-2 ERA who's throwing wiffle balls up there, and he's going to be pitching in the bigs for a long time. Hopefully for that guy. But you heard him say, man, his only regret is he didn't get to experience more of LSU, just the 1 year. But we'll see what the future holds. But Eric was great to us. We appreciate a couple of minutes from him here today, and we'll call on him again, certainly in and around and after the draft. All right, it's After Further Review. Let me knock out our final break of hour number 2. We'll come back. Muso will have Tigers and the Pros. A lot we're going to get to in hour number 3. I've mentioned this a couple of times, y'all, and every year in the off season, during the summer, there's always like housekeeping business that gets handled during the summer. And I think one of the things this year, obviously, is going to be scheduling for the SEC. In the past, it's been conference realignment. It's been cost of attendance. There's just been a lot of stuff, right? A couple of years ago, it was COVID was the whole off season. But the NIL is just undeniably going to be a giant part of it. And I don't know how tired you all are, fatigued you're going to be, or already are with the NIL conversation. But it's just not going away. And there were NCAA enforcement today released a letter to schools regarding NIL. And I want to go through it, talk a little bit about it coming up after the top of the hour. So about 15 minutes from right now, we'll talk about what NCAA enforcement is looking at as far as how they're going to try to start enforcing NIL. So it's just a giant part of the reality of intercollegiate athletics right now. So we'll get to it. All right, it's After Further Review. Quick break. Muso will have Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR.
Pluckers, always a great night to get by Pluckers, but on Thursdays, y'all, Thursdays at Pluckers. All you can eat boneless buffalo bites. That's right. Those bites of beautiful chicken meat, breaded, fried, tossed in your favorite wing sauce, and you can eat as many of them as you want all night long for one low price every Thursday at Pluckers. Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Dine in, carry out, delivery. Well, you can't get all you can eat if you get delivery. Remember that. But that's Uber Eats or DoorDash. You can pull that up and have your wings delivered to you. That's at Pluckers. Again, either location, you can always eat wings. Great selection of beer, bottled and draft, full-service bar, and sports on every TV. No matter your favorite team, you can always watch it at Pluckers. They have every single Major League Baseball game, every sport from every league in the world. You want to go watch live golf? You can watch it at Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, dine-in, carry-out, or delivery. Pluckers, if you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safes Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet,
Louisiana's country station.
100.7 The Tiger.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust.
After further review with Matt Moscona. Presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2, and glad to have you hanging out with us here. As always, brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. All this month, hormone replacement therapy, those initial blood labs, $149 and 10% off your first round of supplements. Get on by. Start feeling like your younger self at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online, theantiagingclinics.com. All right, Muso. Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Well, the Houston Astros fell 6-3 to the Mariners last night, but Alex Bregman put forth his best effort in helping his team win. 1 for 4 with a single, also came around to score 2 runs in the ballgame. A bit of a slow first half for Bregman so far, though. Just hitting 220 on the season after a hot start. Hey, Matt, did you see the Phillies game last night? We might have unprecedented run support for our guy, Aaron Nola. The Phillies beat the Brewers 10-0.
Oh!
Aaron Nola, 8 innings, 4 hits, obviously shutout, no walks, 6 punch-outs, 103 pitches, 74 strikes. Aaron Nola left the game in the 8th inning. At that point, the Phillies had scored 6 runs for him, which is probably more than in any start this season for Nola they've scored combined. I'm hypothesizing there, but it's probably true.
Somebody texted my text line and was like, what is he yelling? Like, first of all, you're texting me. Like, not what he would. So what are you yelling? Because it's on my phone. As a point of clarification. I'm yelling Catholic High, but I'm yelling Catholic High for every athlete that went to Catholic High.
And even some that didn't, like DJ LeMay. He didn't go there.
But he should have.
But he's not from here.
We've been over this. He went to a brother's school, in Michigan.
But
same thing.
It's not the same thing.
It is the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
It's basically the same.
That's exactly. So it's not.
It is.
PGA Tour golf. We have the RBC. No. We have the RBC Canadian Open. Sam Burns. He's through 17 holes, so on the 18th tee right now. 4 under par for his round. Has him tied for 6th, which is just 3 shots off the lead of American Wyndham Clark. So a really nice start for Sam Burns at the RBC Canadian Open.
He ain't doing the live thing?
No, he's not.
I would.
He's not. He's number 2 in the FedEx Cup right now, Sam Burns.
The money there just... What does a FedEx Cup winner get?
$10 million.
Well, that's a
Actually,
lot.
it might be $15 million now. I think it is.
What does
$15
the
million.
second place guy get?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Let's find out.
But the winner gets, I think it's $15 million now, actually, which is a nice payday. And then Curtis Thompson is also in the field at the RBC Canadian Open. A little bit rougher day for Curtis. 5 over par round.
You're coming around.
5 over par round for our guy. He's finished.
FedEx winner gets $18 million.
Went up again. Okay.
Number 2 gets 6.5,
which is still pretty solid.
Number 3 gets 5.
That doesn't suck either.
$4 million for 4th. $3 million for 5th. 2.5, 2, 1.5, 1.25. So,
what does the last place get?
$85,000 if you finish 126 to 150. If you get 85K.
Oh, even if I stink, I'm gonna get some money.
Get some money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. You know, if you win that FedEx thing, you could buy some really nice jewelry from Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. But you'll always get a great quality diamond at a great price because at Lee Michaels, of course, they buy the highest quality diamonds in the world. But because they buy in bulk, they'll always give you a great price. LMFJ.com. They buy for 9 different locations. LMFJ.com. Remember, if it's engagement season, gentlemen, you want to go buy that beautiful, sparkling diamond that will thrill her and make you a hero, the one place to go is Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, corporate in Bocage, and in the Mall of Louisiana. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. And, of course, Father's Day is coming around. So, go get Dad like a nice watch or something like that. Lee Michaels has tons of great options. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. LMFJ.com. All right, it's time for further review. Tip of the cap to Fast Freddy. Fred McAfee and Devery Henderson both today elected to the New Orleans Saints Hall of Fame. They'll be inducted coming up this football season. So they'll have the Hall of Fame weekend and be a lot of fun. Certainly for Devery, a former LSU Tiger who played his whole career with Saints. It was awesome to see that. And really cool for a lot of the guys from this era, this great era of Saints football, to start being elected to the Saints Hall of Fame. So Devery was on the Super Bowl team. Of course, he was a a Hazlitt, Jim Hazlitt, or as our friend Mike D would say, a Jim Hazlitt draft pick, but a former second-round pick, but a national champion, a Super Bowl champion, and now a Saints Hall of Famer. So congrats to Devery Henderson and Fred McAfee. But it's after further review. We will knock out a quick break. When we come back, as I promised, we'll talk a little NIL in the context of the NCAA enforcement staff today has released a letter to schools about NIL. We're going to talk about that when we come back. Stick around. Hour 3 is next.
AFR.
Had a friend text me yesterday saying, hey, trying to buy a car for their daughter who's about to start driving, and they're interested in the Taos from Volkswagen. And I said, absolutely, get on by. Just 2 weeks ago, South Point had 4 truckloads of vehicles arrive on the lot. So they got inventory now at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, or southpointvw.com. Remember, if it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com. So go to the website, hit new vehicles or used vehicles there at the top, and you can see the entire inventory. We're talking about like a picture of the actual vehicle that's on the lot. It's not like a factory stock photo. It's the vehicle that's there at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland. They're Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer because they sell more vehicles than anyone. They can give you a better deal than anyone at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen. What's your direction?
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to front-to-backboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat Service.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Doug Brown. The PGA Tour suspends 17 players who are in this week's inaugural Live Golf event outside London. The suspensions include Phil Mickelson, Dustin Johnson, Sergio Garcia, and Ian Poulter. ESPN's Michael Collins says the PGA Tour hasn't been responsive to its players.
The middle-tier dudes on the PGA Tour have been feeling like the tour hasn't been listening to them. That they've been airing their concerns with the PGA Tour for years and years and years. And everything that they've been talking to the tour about has been falling on deaf ears.
10 of the 17 suspended players, including Johnson and Garcia, have already resigned from the PGA Tour. Game 4 of the NBA Finals in Boston tomorrow night, with the Celtics now leading the Warriors 2-1. Steph Curry says he will play after Boston's Al Horford rolled on his left leg and foot last night. Coverage of tomorrow's Game 4 starts at 8 Eastern on ESPN Radio and ABC TV.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. And now, a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You could save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you could save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Matt?
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Taylor Sharp? Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplin. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. If you missed anything, Josh Smith in hour 1. Yes, it actually happened today. We teased it for 3 days, but kept having issues. But Josh Smith, hour 1. Billy Embody and Eric Reiselman last hour. You missed anything, AFR on demand, presented by Brett Golf. As always, we appreciate that. You can check out what you missed or on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. So, the director of NCAA enforcement today released a letter to schools about NIL. I will hesitate to read the entire thing here word for word for you, but some of the noteworthy parts here, because listen, let's be honest, NIL is a huge part of intercollegiate athletics now. It has become a part of recruiting, and it has become a hot button launch off point for coaches to attack each other, and it's everywhere. So this is the letter from the head of enforcement for NCAA that was sent to all NCAA member institutions. Like NCAA member schools, the national office supports the opportunity for student athletes to benefit from their name, image, and likeness. We are encouraged by the appropriate use of NIL benefits for student athletes. At the same time, we recognize obvious concerns about misuses of NIL and related communications, particularly in recruiting and transfer environments. They go on. So the enforcement staff is saying, we know you are misusing NIL in recruiting and transfer. Okay, they continue. The enforcement staff is aware of stories reported publicly and other instances in which NIL benefits are potentially being used inappropriately. We understand members' urgency and need for a swift, fair action in connection with the interim policy on NIL. As a result, the enforcement staff is working tirelessly to develop information and investigate potential violations of NCAA rules. So again, enforcement is telling you, we've seen the stories, we've heard all of it. Some of them have been very public. We are investigating. Tell them they are actively investigating these complaints. NCAA confidentiality requirements do not allow disclosure of case-specific information. Let us affirm, however, that enforcement staff is engaged on multiple matters working with stakeholders to move forward. So again, they're not going to talk specifically about the cases because of confidentiality, but they're saying we're aware that NIL inducements have been used for recruiting and in the transfer portal. We are investigating them, although we can't tell you which cases specifically that we investigate. They go on. We understand the challenges on campuses, particularly as it relates to boosters and collectives. But effective action in this area will require cooperation between member schools and the national office. Okay, some of the things that they're asking schools to do now. Detect and report violations on your campus. Yeah, right. Inform the enforcement staff when student-athletes on your rosters are contacted inappropriately by other schools or third parties. That's one that, especially with transfers, is going to be a massive hot button. Because right now, as it stands right now in recruiting, this happens in recruiting. There was a case, if you remember a few years ago, with an LSU athlete. I will not mention that athlete's name, but it was a lineman who left LSU after 1 year and was contacted prematurely while still an LSU student by TCU. And that went over not great. And there was a very, let's just say that it was reported and a lot of stuff that happens. It happens, and now it's clearly going to happen more in the NIL space. Okay. They ask schools to help the enforcement staff uncover relevant information in a timely manner and cooperate in the efforts to expedite the review and resolution of the violations. Okay, to be very clear, the enforcement staff is not focused on the eligibility of current or prospective student athletes. As always, the infraction process is primarily concerned with the behaviors of institutional staff members and representatives. That's the big point there. Again, Joe Duncan, Vice President of Enforcement, is they are not focused on student-athlete eligibility, meaning, and this is the big thing, right, that we've heard about NIL all along. It's punish student-athletes, put a cap on what they can make, you immediately will have lawsuits drafted, ready, lined up to roll. So enforcement is telling you, we are not going after the student-athletes. If a student-athlete took an NIL inducement improperly, we're not going after the student-athlete. We're going for the school. That's what they're talking about here. There's not going to be a Reggie Bush situation. There's not going to be an AJ Green. You can't play because you sold your jersey. It's not. There won't be any of that. They're going after the schools. So the boosters that peacocked, that spoke openly and on the record, some of them, Miami is probably the most notable. When you had boosters speaking openly and on the record, and a lot of these pieces, look, Ross Dellinger wrote a 5,000, 6,000 word story about NIL where he had boosters and agents talking on the record about NIL deals. Like, that could circle back to bite them. But basically, what the NCAA is trying to do right now is curtail NIL for recruiting inducements and for transfers. That's at the crux of the issue right now. And if they have any leg to stand on with respect to enforcement, that will be the telltale. But the problem is, how quickly can the NCAA move, right? So I know everyone here is just thinking A&M. All right, A&M used NIL. The boosters did to put together these offer sheets to sign the greatest class ever. We all know what happened. Jimbo denies it, but everybody knows and acknowledges that's what happened. Did they violate a rule? How quickly can you investigate and then come to a conclusion on that? We're still waiting on finality with LSU's basketball investigation, which has been going on for 3 years now. Do we really think that we're going to get some type of expedited process with NIL? When you're talking about private citizens' money? I don't have any confidence in it. But it's fascinating to see how it all transpires. All right, so after further review. And this comes at a time where, I'll tell you, this will be fascinating. This week, LSU announced they're launching a subscription-based streaming service called LSU Gold. You all saw this. I'm certain this week that you all saw that LSU announced this. And, the thing that when I look at the possibility or LSU Gold or, whatever they're going to do with it is how are you going to get student athletes to participate? The biggest problem that LSU could have with LSU Gold is if I'm a student athlete, why would I participate in this? Why would I do interviews? Why would I do interviews on LSU Gold? Why wouldn't I go do an NIL deal and outsource my own content so I make money? Or are the student athletes going to get a cut of the LSU Gold revenue? Maybe the bigger question is, are fans even going to buy this? I'll tell you, I will never tell anybody what to do. If you see value in this, you want to buy it, spend it. It's $8.99 a month. It's going to be $8.99 a month, which, by the way, I don't know how they came up with the $8.99 a month. Just for context, Peacock, NBC streaming service is $4.99 a month. ESPN Plus is $6.99 a month. Disney Plus is $7.99 a month. LSU Gold is $8.99 a month. They're charging more than ESPN, Disney, Peacock. Anyway, I think they're going to struggle to get subscribers, personally. But if you want to buy it, buy it. I'll never tell you what to do with your money or not. But I think that's going to be their biggest problem is, number one, will people actually buy it? And number two, the athletes are going to say, I want mine. Because if I'm a student athlete, there's no way that I'm sitting down and doing exclusive content for you to make money that I'm not getting paid on. There's too many platforms now. Athlete could go create their own YouTube channel, create their own podcast, what vlog, whatever they want to do. They come do an NIL deal with me. We've done some of them where you get some of these student athletes on air. I'll get them paid. So it's tricky, man. I know people keep using the old cliches. It's the Wild Wild West. That's true. it's all of that. There is a level of truth to it, but LSU's playing catch up right now with the NIL space, and for competitive purposes in the major sports, they're going to have to get it all ironed out and try to play catch up with some of the schools that are far ahead. All right, it's after further review. Glad to have you aboard with us here. You can always join us. Hey, actually, I'm curious. Maybe that could even be the poll question, Amy. It's would you buy the LSU Gold subscription for $8.99 a month? Yes or no? I'm curious. For what it's worth, I don't mean to bias anybody, but the Baton Rouge Business Report ran the same poll at their website, and 81% said no, 11% said not sure, and 8% said yes. But to be very real, I know that's completely one-sided, but I don't know how many subs they would need to make this profitable. So anyway, maybe that could be a poll. Would you buy LSU Gold? I'd be curious to know. I'm allergic to paywalls. I think if you put out good content, you can make money on it. We put out tons of free content every day. How many hours of local radio do we do here every day? 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 hours of, and if you count odd as well. But yeah, so 11 hours of local radio a day. 11 hours. And then we repurpose that on YouTube channels and other social platforms. We never have a paywall. I just believe if you do good work, you'll generate numbers and then advertisers will follow. There's just two different models to follow. I just don't like paywall. So I will not be a LSU Gold subscriber. I'm curious if other people will be. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. You're welcome to join us. Email us, tweet us. You can text us in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Lots of ways to get involved. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Better coverage for less money. Tell you every single day. Better coverage for less money. Stop overpaying to be underinsured. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. Give them a buzz. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. This process is so easy, and I want to stress this. Two things. Number one is this is a free opportunity. They are not going to charge you anything. That's number one. You call, they shop, they do not charge you. And number two is they are not selling you anything. They go shop with all of the relationships they have, dozens of the top-rated insurance companies to see if they can find you better coverage for less money than you currently have. If they do, great, switch. If they don't, stick with what you got. It's really that easy. You have nothing to lose. 293-0450. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I really like reading feature stories. Smiley Kaufman was with us yesterday, and I told you I read a very long feature that someone at The Athletic did for about Smiley Kaufman after he was working for the PGA Championship as an on-course reporter. I like features. I like reading biographies as well. And sometimes autobiographies. It really kind of depends who the author may be or what the subject matter is. But the Players Tribune I find to be a very interesting platform because it allows the players to tell their own stories. Now, the old adage is there's two sides to every story. So you take what you read with a grain of salt, understanding that someone else could tell the story and give you a different perspective that you don't really know. The truth lies somewhere in between. So I guess what I would suggest is when you read something like the feature that Jamarcus Russell wrote for the Players Tribune, you recognize that this is one man's firsthand account of what happened with him. And you could talk to coaches and teammates and front office executives, scouts, who were involved in a lot of these interactions and things like that, who may give a different angle or a different perspective of the same story. So I wouldn't accept either position as gospel and recognize that in both instances, the truth probably lies somewhere in between, but more of a realization or recognition of this person's perspective on what happened and why it happened. Whether you agree with it, believe it, appreciate it, it doesn't matter. It's just a fact-gathering type situation. So there is a Jamarcus Russell wrote a very long feature at the Players Tribune, and I will tell you candidly, I have not read the entire thing yet. I plan to do that tonight. So I don't want to comment yet fully on the content because I have not read the whole thing. But it's at the Players Tribune, and the title is "Y'all Don't Know a Damn Thing About Jamarcus Russell" by Jamarcus Russell. And I have read through he starts by talking about codeine, the purple drank. That's how he starts, is when he first tried codeine when he was 14 years old. He talks about losing relatives at points in his life, at LSU and in the NFL, some of which we knew. And his uncle Ray Ray, which is who died when he was with the Raiders, and it was a big part. Jamarcus has talked about this before in the past, why that was such an impactful part of his life, a formative part in his life when things in Oakland weren't going well, and why they didn't go. And anyway, I just find Jamarcus to be a fascinating figure, because of where he came from, the rise he had at LSU, the absolutely deified talent. I mean, he was like he's like a god. I'm not saying he's God, but just the way his talent was otherworldly. I mean, when you think about like gods and demigods and like Hercules and stuff, from all the mythology, that's kind of what Jamarcus's talent was like. This big, enormous 6'6" freak show that just flicked his wrist and threw the ball 90 yards. It's like, who does that? It was an amazing thing to see. So I think that's why a lot of us have an obsession with it. But we also have obsessions with rises and falls. And America does love a comeback story. A few years ago, Jamarcus got himself in great shape and was trying to make a push. I say a few years ago. It's probably about 10 years ago now at this point. But he was trying to make a push for a comeback into football. And I would have loved to have seen Jamarcus take a shot at one of the upstart leagues or to go play in Canada or something like that just to get back on a field, which he would have had that opportunity to see if he could have made it back. Never got the opportunity to play again in the NFL after his 3-year stint with the Oakland Raiders. But for me, Jamarcus's story, yes, there's the fall and what happened in Oakland. I mean, he was an immature player at a difficult time in his life that went to an awful organization with a head coach in Lane Kiffin who was immature himself, and even more so when he was in his 30s. And it was just an awful fit. If you wonder how that might have gone had Jamarcus been drafted by and played for a guy like Sean Payton, or gone to a Bill Belichick organization, or Tony Dungy, who had such a great father-like relationship with so many of his players. Could it have been different? Maybe not. Maybe the same things would have kept him out. But he remains a fascinating figure because so rare do we see someone with so much promise, so much potential, with so much invested to have such a cataclysmic fall. That's why Ryan Leaf remains a story that people talk about. But one of the really interesting parts about Jamarcus is a lot of people, I think, probably just assume that J-Rock spent all his money and was, broke or whatever. It's not the case, as I understand it. He took care of his money and he's got plenty and is doing well. I don't know. Again, I've not read the entire feature yet, but I do intend to tonight. I'm curious if he does talk about that. But all of the pro stuff aside, for me, and I'm just talking now as Matt, LSU fan, guy who grew up cheering for LSU, went to school at LSU, was a senior at LSU in 2003 when Jamarcus was a freshman. Remember when he signed? Remember all that stuff? Like, for me, I love Jamarcus Russell. Just for the same reason I love Nick Saban. Like, yes, it sucks that Nick Saban has gone to Alabama and won so much and beaten LSU so much. But they were both at LSU at this integral part in LSU's history where we wondered if LSU would ever win championships, and Saban brought LSU to that, and Jamarcus was a big part of the success LSU had for the 3 years that he played in 4, 5, and 6. So, punctuated by that Sugar Bowl, and that was at a time where Jamarcus was also redshirted. I mean, he was on the 2003 team he was a redshirt. He was his true freshman year, and he redshirted. So, think about a guy like that, talent like that now. What that would look like, if he were here. But I'm grateful for guys like Jamarcus. We got to watch amazing games. 2004, the comeback against Oregon State and the opener against the rain, or against Oregon State in the rain. When you think about so many of the great games that they played, the touchdown pass in the opener of 2005 against Arizona State, post Katrina. Of course, the Sugar Bowl in 2006, the game in Knoxville against Tennessee in 2006, the touchdown pass in overtime to Dwayne Bowe against Alabama in 2005. There are amazing moments that if you were lucky enough or old enough to watch, like, you'll cherish them, just the way that Tiger fans from the 70s and 80s will talk about, like, Burt Jones and Brad Davis, the night the clock stopped. That was 10 years before I was born, but, if you saw it, the pelt in the field with oranges in '82 at the Florida State win. I was a newborn, so I didn't see that. But people who were there and loved it and watched it, 20 years from now, 40 years from now, I'll be talking about games I saw Jamarcus Russell play because he was awesome. I don't care that it didn't work out in Oakland. I would have loved it for him and loved to have seen him have a great long NFL career. Just not how it played out. So, but I will read this because I still think Jamarcus is a fascinating figure in the history of the NFL, because when you talk about the guys who are often considered the biggest bust in NFL history, you talk about Ryan Leaf and Tony Mandarich and Jamarcus Russell, who's on that list. And whatever is next for him in life, I hope he does awesome, and I hope he crushes it. And I wish that Jamarcus Russell was more involved in the LSU program. I wish he came around more and was celebrated more, because he should be. He's one of the greatest players to ever wear the purple and gold and should be celebrated as such. So, features up at the Players Tribune's first person, by Jamarcus Russell. Y'all don't know a damn thing about Jamarcus Russell, by Jamarcus Russell. You can check it out at the Players Tribune. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, shawbillstire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name-brand tires at wholesale prices. If you need tires, buy them at Shawbills, because they're the best tires on the road at the cheapest price. You'll find them anywhere. And, of course, bumper-to-bumper auto service. Oil change, tire rotation, brake light, brakes are squeaking, the check engine light's on, whatever you need under the hood, they can help you out at Shawbills. shawbillstire.com, shawbillstire.com, Shawbills, where we keep you rolling. We haven't talked really a lot. We haven't at all today about the NBA Finals, and I understand there's just national platforms that can do a far better job, that know the Warriors and the Celtics better than we do and have followed them closely. They can talk about this series. So I'm not going to delve too deeply into any of the X's and O's in the series. Otter did have the Celtics last night lay in the 3.5, so that was a hit. So thank you for the Otter for the win if you were betting with the Otter, which I was. But after there were Boston fans chanting F you, Draymond, to Draymond Green during the game. Draymond after talked about reveling in the fact that he is so disliked.
I embrace it. I enjoy it. I didn't really feed off of it tonight. I don't think I fed off much tonight. But yeah, that's something that I enjoy. They waste a lot of energy talking to me, so it's great.
All right, so he said he likes being the villain, but what about the he likes being the villain. He embraces it. What about the chants when the Boston crowd was chanting F you, Draymond?
No, they're just talking. Not really my job to react to them. So they did what I expected.
Now, a lot of his teammates did talk about it. Here was Steph Curry on the chants toward Draymond.
Par for the course.
every arena you kind of get a little something. It's been like that the whole playoffs, and every run we've made over the course of that's he expects it. So no different tonight.
Steve Kerr on the Draymond chants.
Your thoughts on the crowd's response to him all night?
On the crowd's response to Draymond? Classy. Very classy.
We don't have Clay. Clay Thompson said, we've played in front of rude fans before, dropping F-bombs with children in the crowd. Really classy. Good job, Boston. So they kind of went, the Dubs went and defended Draymond. But then, like, Draymond's in the postgame press conference with his son right next to him, and he was asked how he played, and he said, played like S-H-I bleep. So it's like, well, if you're offended by cursing in front of children, don't curse in front of children. I guess that's where I'd always hesitate if you're going to point the finger. I will say this. If you're a fan, and I say this often, if you're a fan, if Draymond Green was standing in front of you and you wouldn't yell in his face, F you, Draymond, but you do it from Section 315, you're a coward. That's number one. I get the mob mentality, strength in numbers, and people feel empowered with all that stuff, or just because you bought a ticket, you could say whatever you want. I get it. This is a losing battle because I go through this with students at LSU as well. And it's been a thing over the year where LSU fans have chanted F you, Saban, and a lot of stuff like that. Like, you're a loser. Don't do that. You're all going to point and say you're the old guy. And look, when I was a student, I did it, and I was a loser for doing that. Like, just because you buy a ticket to an event doesn't give you a right to be vulgar and berate people. It's stupid. You can cheer for your team. You can boo the other team, too. I don't care about that. But, like, chanting F you to somebody from Section 284, like, you're a loser. If you're an adult human and that's how you're spending your time, like, you're a loser. I have nothing for you. I don't care about Draymond Green. I don't care about the Warriors. I don't care about this series, quite honestly. I mean, I love the NBA. I'll watch it, but I'm not emotionally invested in any way. I just don't understand why people, because you know what happens inevitably. Like, the malice happens. And you're seeing players get more and more empowered now, and they're standing up for themselves. And they should. And it's going to lead to something ugly. I think it's an inevitability. But yeah. Whatever. And the other thing, too, is by Steve Kerr and Clay and Steph all saying it, you're only just prodding them to do it more. Like, it's going to be even louder in Game 4. Like, that's human nature. Because this has become a thing, it's on everyone's radar. They will probably chant F you, Draymond out every time he touches the ball. I mean, if you want it to go away, just don't talk about it. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Auto locks in 15 minutes. Stick around.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. That's Clegg's Nursery. For 60 years, man. 6 decades. Our friends at Clegg's have been serving the greater Baton Rouge area. What an awesome run it's been. What a great time to get by Clegg's. I love this time of year. I love the summer. I love it when it's hot outside. I loathe cold weather. So, man, look, we live in Louisiana for a reason, right? Get on by Clegg's Nursery. You want to spend some time in the garden? For a lot of people, that's their exercise. That's their outdoor time. Soak up that vitamin D. Get on by Clegg's. Great full greenhouses. Nobody has a better selection of the flowers and plants and trees and shrubs that you love to go plant at your home. Clegg's Nursery has got it all. And remember, they've got mulch and they've got soil by the bag in bulk, and they're partnered with True Value Hardware Store. So whatever you'd find at a True Value Hardware Store, you'll also find at Clegg's Nursery. Buy local, shop local. For more than 60 years, be sure to tell them Matt sent you in when you go see our friends today at Clegg's Nursery.
Come on over to Corval Toyota to pre-order your next vehicle, and you'll never pay over MSRP. Browse, reserve, pick up, and enjoy. It's that simple. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, a little bit of breaking news here from LSU baseball. A familiar name for Tiger fans has entered the transfer portal. Giovanni DiGiacomo, just a few minutes ago, posting on his Twitter account a note to LSU fans thanking them and announcing that he is entering the transfer portal. So we are expecting this to come a little bit rapid fire now. The season's over. Jay Johnson's going to have exit meetings with players. You're going to find out which guys have an opportunity to play at LSU and return to LSU, and which guys should find a path elsewhere to continue their baseball career. So we've talked about it. Like, there's going to be guys whose eligibility is expired. There's going to be guys that go pro. And then you can kind of figure out which guys are going to be transferring out, who won't be back next year. I don't have a real diplomatic way of saying it. I don't want to say cut or processed or, I'm trying to think of a more diplomatic, respectful way of saying it. But I think you all understand, what we're talking about. So Gio will not be back next year. Makes a lot of sense. He just didn't have a real opportunity to play this year. And you've got two really good young freshman outfielders returning in Pearson and Stevenson. Cruz, of course, is back in center for his junior year. It's just, better to go find an opportunity to play elsewhere. So, and I think we're going to have, you're going to see a lot more announcements like that coming up in the next few days. Remember, July 1 is the deadline. July 1 is the deadline to for players to enter the portal if they want to be immediately eligible for next year. So if you're Giovanni DiGiacomo or any other player, you enter the portal now so that way you can find a landing spot before all the roster spots in other places fill up. So you keep your options open by entering the portal now. So we'll let you know as we get more announcements from LSU players. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad to have you hanging out with us here. Brought to you by DraftKings, official sports betting partner of the NBA. DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Again, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet on an NBA Finals game. Bet just $5 on an NBA Finals game. If you hit, they'll give you $150 in free bets. Also, same game parlay. More legs you add, the more money you can win. If one of your legs doesn't hit, they'll give you $25 in free bets back at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Again, so download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. Major League Baseball you want to bet on tonight, whatever it may be. Otter Locks is coming up here in a few minutes. You know the Otter will have some picks for you, some plays for you. So be sure to download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. Now the big long disclaimer. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. Saw this today where former Saints defensive coordinator Greg Williams has been named a defensive coordinator in the XFL. So the XFL had previously named their head coaches. Today, they named personnel directors and also offensive and defensive coordinators where applicable. So Greg Williams, who had been a head coach with the Bills and the Browns, probably most known, of course, for his role with the Saints, where Saints won the Super Bowl, but also was part of Bountygate in 2012. Is there anything more fitting than Greg Williams being a coordinator in the XFL, which is run by pro wrestling people? I cannot think of anything more fitting. I mean, you know what this means. And we've also learned that our friend Matthew Musso here has a deep, deep knowledge of professional wrestling. I mean, are we finally going to get to see the full access of Greg Williams' defensive playbook?
You might.
I mean, do you think that he names his blitzes after finishing moves?
I mean, he should, because there's a lot of good ones out there.
Wouldn't you use like a third down all-out blitz and call it the Stone Cold Stunner?
That'd be awesome.
What else would you call it?
The Jackhammer.
Who was the Jackhammer?
Maybe Bill Goldberg.
Oh, that was his move?
That was Goldberg. He also did a spear. A lot of guys did a spear, though.
That could just be like, hey, do the Goldberg.
Do the Goldberg
on any given play.
I mean, he played football. That might work.
That's my boy.
Yeah,
that was his move. It was just basically a form tackle. Wasn't that his thing?
I mean, you could do a power bomb. That could be a blitz.
Was that a finishing move?
Kevin Nash used it.
Oh, but did he call it a power bomb?
Jackknife.
See, you got to call it what it's called.
It was a power. It was the jackknife power bomb.
But when it's a finishing move, it kills people more, right?
It does.
Like, I mean, The Rock with the people's elbow.
That was terrible.
All he did was just drop. But if you run off the ropes and then drop an elbow, then it really hurts you bad.
I mean, if you're going to go elbow drop, you got to go Macho Man Randy Savage, elbow drop from the top rope.
From the top rope?
That's great.
What did Macho Man call his move? Or did he call it anything?
It was just called the elbow drop, yeah. He was Macho Man Randy Savage, man.
What about Hulk? When the leg drop?
The leg drop. Nah, that's
was
terrible.
that just a leg drop?
Yeah, we're not going to use that.
That's the point. I mean, you
Tombstone pile driver?
Yep,
that'd be good.
Now, wouldn't that be awesome if there was actually, if a football player did the tombstone on the field to somebody? Great. In Greg Williams' defense, in the XFL, run by wrestlers, it seems like it should be legal.
I mean, Matt, Bobby Boucher powerbombed a guy on the field.
He did.
That happened. You did a choke slam.
Did he do that?
No, but I mean, you could in Greg Williams' XFL.
Yeah, you could. Be awesome. And then you would probably also have legal bounties, I would imagine, right? I mean, it's the XFL. Couldn't the Bounty Gate formula be actually legalized now? And then how about if, like, they made the payments real time during the game and it was Ted DiBiase? How about Ted DiBiase on the field in his $1 million suit?
With the belt? Gotta have the $1 million belt.
Handing out the cash. How great would that be?
Be awesome.
I would watch.
Stop the game for that.
I'm not watching the XFL. There's no shot I'm watching the XFL. But if I got Ted DiBiase, remember when like Virgil made him like clean his shoes and stuff like that? It was his guy. And then Virgil like attacked him later and went on.
Virgil was massive.
Yeah, Virgil was a big dude.
Huge.
I would not have taken any bleep from Ted DiBiase if I was Virgil. It was a good thing he was. Anyway, like, Now you've got something cooking here. Greg Williams, get the bounty formula, call all the defensive plays by finishing moves, have the bounty formula where you knock a guy out, you get a 15-yard penalty, you get cash on the sideline, and Ted DiBiase's there to deliver it. I'm in.
It's a match made in heaven, honestly.
I'm in. That's way better than that live golf thing.
Yeah.
It's a way better idea than that. But you know what's live golf is a better idea than what the Canadian golf thing is doing this weekend. What's it called, Muse, the golf tournament?
Oh, the RBC Canadian Open.
Yeah. They're back in Canada for the first time since pre-COVID.
Yes.
Because the Canadians didn't want people in there because
No
of
one
the
was
COVIDs.
allowed.
Yeah. So apparently there's an attached bar hovering and suspended by a crane. I don't know if you saw this, but
I saw it.
There's a video that you can watch. These fans are at a bar that is literally it's a think of what are those those bike bars where you the pedal bars, you know what I mean? Like you pedal around.
I don't know what that is now. I'm sorry.
They're all over Nashville. You pedal around and like you're sitting at a thing and everybody's got a deal and you pedal and you go around town. It's like that, except a crane picks you up hundreds of feet in the air and you're overlooking the course. Like, it's a terrible idea.
It's stupid.
I mean, you're strapped into a chair. There are bartenders in the middle. There's two real problems. Number one, there's nowhere to pee. So I don't know how long you're up there. But if you're feeding someone booze, people are going to have to, and there's probably, I would guess, a dozen people.
Let's say at least.
There's probably a dozen people up there. Somebody's going to have to pee. And there's nowhere to pee. That's one. And two, the other like really big problem you have is you're not looking at the course. They're like, oh, look, you get an elevated view of the course. You're looking at the jack leg directly across from you at the bar. You're strapped into the seat. Yeah. You can't see anything. This is a terrible idea.
It's awful. I'm not for it. You could not pay me enough to be suspended like 300 feet in the air, hanging from a stupid crane. I'm good. Also, I mean,
Muse, I'll give you $1 million to. You're lying.
Good,
bro. That is the stupidest thing.
Sober me wouldn't do it. You really don't need drunk Musso 300 feet in the air.
Spare me the hyperbole. I hate hyperbole. To say you can't pay me. If anyone ever says you can't pay me enough to fill in the blank, you're a liar, and I completely start ignoring you at that point. Because if I gave you $10,000 to do that, your ass would be strapped in that seat, Muse. Don't you lie to me.
You're probably right.
I'm not probably right. If I had $1,000 of cash, Musso,
I would need more than $1,000. Yes, I would. I would not do it for $1,000.
If I was sitting here with 10 $100 bills and I said, Muse, all you have to do is strap your ass in that chair, go up and drink beer. Here you go. Your ass would be up in that chair drinking beer. Yes, you would. Don't shake your head at me.
Not for $1,000.
28-year-old Matthew Musso, your ass is in that chair up there 100%.
Drunk Musso 300 feet in the air on a crane is a bad idea.
You're strapped in.
It does not
You
matter.
wouldn't do it for $1,000?
Taylor.
Not $1,000.
Taylor. A bajillion percent he's doing it for $1,000.
I'd do it for $50.
Taylor's like, I just kind of like the idea.
Yeah, I'll jump in.
Just give me the free booze. All right, Otter Locks is next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of LSU Athletics. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. Remember, they've got curbside pickup and delivery options. So if you can't physically get to Rouse's, no worries. They will deliver your groceries to you. Or, for convenience, go to the app, select your items. They'll go shop for you. You pull up into one of the parking spots designated for pickup. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom, boom. Rouse's will bring your groceries out to you. It's Rouse's. You're looking for dinner plans tonight for the whole family, not sure what to do? Pop into a nearby Rouse's. Super easy. Go in, go to the left. The right is all the grocery store shopping part. The left is where you'll find the deli, where you find all their prepared foods. If it's maybe a chicken for the whole family or sushi, it's awesome. It's Rouse's. You'll love it. Get on by. Rouse's all over the state of Louisiana. Find that Rouse's near you at Rouse's.com. Rouse's. This feels like home.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis "That's Mo" Armstrong.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to front-to-back boat service.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, hit Jimmy's Open.
Autorlocks, presented by Bocage Barbershop in Bocage Village. Serving the Bocage, Goodwood, and Town Center area since 1959.
All right, Jimmy, we're late because Muso's a liar. So I won't waste any of your time. By the way, nice call on the Celtics last night. Bada bing, bada bang, bada boom. All right, what we got tonight, Otter?
Yeah, I would think that, I love Celtics last night. I think the quote was.
Yes.
That's quality stuff,
and
right?
Phillies with Aaronola. Thank you.
That's a tie with 10-0. Quality stuff, right?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So your quote, not mine. So we have 3 non-hours of local quality content. 11 if you count out.
I was thinking guarantee employees, guarantee employees, all right?
The consumer doesn't know who has the health
but in my head, I get it, which is why I wasn't going to explain it. It didn't matter. But now you're explaining it. Now we only got like a minute.
Pavetta. You ready to get on that blood money yet?
Let's
Pavetta.
go. Let's go.
No Mike Trout again tonight. They've lost 16 in a row. This guy just keeps throwing out 4 horrible starts to start the season. Horrible. It buried his ERA. He's got his ERA to a respectable 3.8 right now. This is 6 quality starts. I'm really quality starts to roll.
1 minute
And they
remaining.
can't hit. Otani is the only one left in the lineup. They just pitch around him. With Trout out, with Rendon out, and I forget the other guys. So they're in a little bit of a problem. They got Nickelback, in the dugout. They're trying everything. So,
for those that missed it, the Angels are playing Nickelback for every walk-up song till they win.
Puck drop at 7 o'clock.
Okay,
Lucy
good.
Live at 6:30. I'm breaking it down for you.
All right, well, I'll listen.
11.
Because
I don't have a health plan doesn't mean I don't have a radio show. 1990. This will be my 33rd football season. Doing it. If you count on. If you count on.
I'm so sorry. It was the worst line of the day.
See you, Matt.
Hey, where are you? Where are you?
Finbomb, baby.
Finbomb. All right, y'all go see Odd and Finbomb.
Got regional picks tonight, too.
Y'all apologize for me for Odd when you see him tonight. All right, say it. Bye. See.
AFR.
All right, I'll remind you about Relief Windows. 11 if you count Odd. And of course, Odd happens to be listening at that point. Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, and reliefwindows.com. There's something playing in my earbuds. There's something playing. Like, there's music playing right now. Relief Windows. Energy-efficient replacement windows. Muso. There's music playing right now.
I don't know what it is. I'm trying to find it.
Please call Brandon Holly and buy windows. 288-8138 and reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding. They do it all. They never take $1 from you until... This is the most incredible thing. Muso is playing something in my ear and cannot figure out what it is. Reliefwindows.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart